Yesterday I wasn't gonna have a morning session because I had another doctor's appointment. Just getting a bunch of checkups. Like haven't done it in a while. The funny thing is I probably would have closed out of my short position around 10:40 ish if I hadn't been in the doctor's appointment. I had the computer with me, but I was just too distracted, and it's a good thing because I ended up selling these. I had puts that risky puts that I doubled down on first thing in the morning before I went to the doctor. With the intention to get out at even or maybe like a little bit of a profit and take a day trade out of my three trades. And I was able to do that for a pretty nice chunk of change. They expired on the 30th, so I was really lucky. That wasn't that was not a prudent move on my part. So I basically have vertical call spreads and just puts. I hold some puts. I'm long puts. And I'll probably close those right before the close in the midst of this last bit of decline. So check it out, guys. This is the Bach card here is a decline to and through support to meet a second support. You bounce around that support for a bit, and then you break down through multiple more supports. So this looks like to and through bouncing around, but this could easily be the bouncing around here. This could be to and through. So either way, I think we've got more decline to go here at the end of the day. Caught this little crest here around 245. Right, and so there should be like three pokes through the same price level and then another decline off of that third poke. In the midst of that decline into the close, what I'll likely do is so I've most of the vertical put spreads that I have I just sold against the sorry most of the vertical call spreads I just sold against the long calls that I had when I determined that we were going to go lower. So like to minimize the loss, right? So there's really like very, very small losses there, and I took big profits on the short side. But now what I've got, uh, a bunch of vertical call spreads and long puts, right? What I'll probably do in the midst of this decline at the end of the day when I close out of the, what I'm gonna do is close out of the 415 put. The 411 put I opened today, so what I'll likely do is turn it into some sort of spread. And I'm gonna buy back probably the 415 calls and leave the 414 calls long over the weekend because I think what we've got, look, if we're gonna end in lows is my sense, right? Out of the low, there's a big move higher, pushing the upper end of a range higher, right? We've got a bullish card for the sneak preview. When we look over here, out of a decline, there's a big move. We do have indications of a lowest low again, but this is overall looking like a bullish day, highs at the end of the day. However, there is this move midday with the Ace of Wands where I would probably close out of the long positions and not wait for this Ace of Discs just to be on the prudent side. And I'll still, when we go over the weekend, I'll still have one long put because it may be that we gap down significantly and then there's a big move to the upside. It may not be that we open higher. It may be that we open lower and there's a big move to the upside. It's kind of hard to determine, but there is a crest on the 1 month here early in the day on the 30th. That's a pretty important anchor here. If you know what I mean by anchor, these objects on the board or what I call reverse clairvoyant anchors, they all have meanings attached to them. They're predetermined meanings. So there's no question about what it is, and they appear when they need to appear, where they need to appear to give you the right message, and they work very well. It's a part of the SO part of SO meta-analysis. So we've got a prominent peak or crest here on the 30th, and we also have a cross-street incongruency on the 30th with the Sun card. Did I open November? Queen of Cups. want to make sure I'm not going to go over my day trades because I've got 2 day trades. So next week I won't be trading. I don't trade when I don't have day trades. It's just too, it changes your psychology. You need to have day trades when you trade in case you get into like some tricky situation you need to get out of. It's really, really important. So I'll hold off on that. I'll be damned if I take a loss because I want to avoid one. That will never happen. I'll just open up another account. I'll avoid it, take the pattern day trading thing and open an account elsewhere and move the money. That's what I would do. I won't take a loss because of their tricky BS. I learned that the hard way. All right, so the 15s. I sold 115. Okay, so if I buy back both 415s, I'm still good. That'll be my last day trade. Hey, AV. Hey, Cal. Hey, Robert. Hey, Proof. Hey, B. Will November have a lower low than today? Yeesh. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Yes or no? Does November have a lower for SPY in November? Does it have a lower price level than today? No, it doesn't. Just what I thought. There'll be a trough in there. It'll stand out, but it won't be a lowest low. Do we see the same low? We might see the same low. That's a possibility. We might see the same low. But if we do, it'll be like a dip before a peak. Which year ICP crypto will reach $500? Where's my other... ICP, here we go. It looks like it'll reach $500 between like 2025 and 2026 based on what I'm seeing. AVAX for the weekend. Hey, it was luck. Is it advisable to long Microsoft here? Let's take a look. I'm gonna long SPY right before the close. And try and get out of some of these calls for a profit. So far, I don't want to jinx myself. I won't say it until I'm done trading. Microsoft. Oh, these are the 10 years. Yikes. Now it's going to take a minute to open because I got it on the cloud and I accidentally clicked the video first. That's so annoying. Give me a minute here, guys. There we go. I don't know if I would long Microsoft here based on the Ace of Wands. It could be a rally that continues into November, so it could be a place to open up a long, but you're probably better off sitting like on the sideline and waiting for a good opportunity to open up a short before this decline like midway through November. But there's a highest high in here, so I think we probably move higher first. Maybe like a short term, let's see, over the weekend. Yeah, you could open up a long here to close on Monday. Or maybe maybe not on Monday, but I think probably on Monday is a good idea. Microsoft held up pretty well during this whole kind of thing we got going on in the market. Oh, actually. This is probably the price level right here. Sort of have a feeling this is the first poke, first of three pokes. We got what, a half hour left. It looks like it's probably the first of three pokes. Well, I mean, we'll see. It's hard to say because this could also be what, 1, 2. That could be three pokes right there, and then a sharp decline. So sometimes this is why it's not like, oh, I know up and down, like direction, all these patterns. But sometimes it's not as easy to read as you might expect, right? Like we could already be in the third poke, or we're in one poke. It depends on how the market wants to do it, you know? Either way, in the midst of a decline into the close, I'll be closing um, my last put that I'd opened throughout this decline, aside from the one I opened today. Glad to hear it was a good call on BTC. It was luck. Appreciate it. AVAX coin for the weekend. So it's a failed attempt to break through a resistance that it looks like we're going to break through, and then we decline through a recently established support. That's tomorrow for AVAX, and then Sunday, notable move higher after establishing support. Jammy coin. So there's a decline tomorrow that ends with a fast sudden move higher. That rally ends on Sunday. So it should be kind of like on Sunday, it should be kind of like a move that starts out bullish and then turns around and goes south. Like a hump sometimes. Appreciate it, Deduct. Yeah, I tripled my parents' account with that little bit that I liquidated from SPC. It was about $600 I started with. Do we get a big dip in the markets between Monday and Wednesday of next week? So I think that there's a significant move higher in the morning, and then we probably revisit the lows of today towards the end of the day or early on the 31st, based on more cross-rooting congruencies here. And that sun card is here midday on the 30th. It appears in the dailies. I think we probably finished the week around the same price level that well, hold on. Okay, so probably around the cusp of Thursday, Friday, the 2nd and the 3rd, we probably end up at the same price levels that we have here on the 30th. And this is kind of like, it's hard to determine where we are. Are we in the November monthly by now, or are we still at the end of the S&P 500? Because there's no cross-reading congruencies today. It's kind of like a wacky day, and then the theme card is also nullified. So my sense is that this is going to be a pretty mixed day. I think on Monday, SPY starts out bullish, but I wouldn't stay bullish for the whole day. That's an accurate statement, Conrad. You got that. Like the high card is the Princess of Swords, which indicates it's a good price level for the high of the day was a good mid level place, right, for opening up a short and a long. And you'll see we're going to probably revisit these lows on the cusp of Monday, Tuesday, after a big move higher. So you can make money to the upside with the calls, and then money to the downside if you're patient and you don't sell out while it's at a loss. Smart thinking, my man. I didn't even think about that. No, not necessarily that we go above the high. we go at least back to the same high, at least, because that's what'll happen is you'll be able, with the price change around that resistance level, you'll be able to play both directions, but not at the same time usually. So you'll short, right? And then we reach this bottom, and it's an opportunity to then long before we come back to that price level. And then you could probably short again at that price level. And we definitely have more decline going, guys, just to say, like, we're going to decline probably into the close. I'm executing. I'm closing this put right here at the end of the day. And this put, I'm probably going to open up, I forget what it's called, a vertical credit spread. I would not, just don't mess with credit spreads, guys. Don't. Unless you know what you're doing with options. But the point is it'll make money with puts while we're going up. And then when we decline again, I'll be able to, matter of fact, maybe I should do that with the 415 as well. Now I'm just going to sell the 415, but this is how you avoid a day trade with options. You need big moves in order for it to make sense to do this. But if you want to avoid a day trade, what you do is you create a vertical call spread and you cut off so if you have a 411 put is in the money, right? I can't sell that without taking a day trade, so I don't want to sell that. So what I'll do is you could sell a 410 put against it and keep all of that money with a slight, like, $100 off the table. Or if you think it's going the other way, you sell a 412 put and then we reverse and go the opposite direction, right? That's one way to avoid a day trade. But you don't want to be trying to avoid day trades, guys. It's a really bad way to trade. I'm telling you. You want to just, like, trade responsibly, take your time. There's no rush, guys. I literally turned $600 into $3,600. Well, no, that's 3,200. Oh, by the way, Conrad, you can call me Adam. We're changing like all that stuff. When I got rid of the times, I saw it coming. Like, last minute avoided it. Price action next week for Amazon. Appreciate it. It was luck for Amazon. And I left, guys, by the way, like, you saw how much I turned that $600 into, right? Like, I left a bunch of money on the table. It's better to do that and take the profit. Can always reposition and put in another profitable trade at the right time, but always step into it. You should never step into a trade hastily. You should always feel at ease when you step into a trade, because if you step into a trade hastily, you've already, like, put that intention, that manifestation into the world. Like, this is going to be a troubled trade. ETA, oh wait, sorry, so Amazon price action, right? Where's October? Oh, right in front of my face. Yeah, so Amazon looks like it's following a similar thing here. Whoa, look at that move. Jeez. Wow. Oops. All right, so we'll probably open higher on Monday and then sell off probably halfway through the day, sell off through multiple supports. And then we're bound by a range. Looks like a gap down overnight into the 31st, and then we're bound by a range. Maybe that we revisit the low here from the 26th. Nailed that, guys. Absolutely nailed Amazon. Oh, well, let's see. Wait, this is the 12th, right? And then again on the 13th. Guys, Amazon October was posted. Or it was created, I should say. August 1st, 2023. Nailed the highs to and the lows to the day. And then Amazon in November. Pretty notable decline on the 1st. Sideways rotation out of a trough on the 2nd. And then a pop and drop on the 3rd with a notable decline, probably a lowest low thus far for Amazon at the end of the week on the 3rd. Lowest low thus far for November, to be clear. Ten minutes. Sorry about that, AV. So what happened with the earnings exactly? Did they go higher overnight and then pop down? Eli Lilly's stock reaction to earnings. Whoa, should be a significant drop. I got the death card there. Oh, as far as Amazon, yeah, but there we did have that drop. I noticed that it was a tricky chart. AMZN. Look, see that? And that'll happen a lot. They'll do that so that you don't get the opportunity. It happens, but you don't get to cash in on it if you can't trade in the extended hours, right? So that was that drop right there. And then we came out of it almost immediate. Well, pretty much immediately. These are 1 minute charts. And that's going to happen occasionally, guys, so that's why it's pretty darn accurate, but you can never trade like it's 100%, guys. If you trade like it's 100% accurate, you're going to lose your money. I'm telling you. Do not do it. Especially like right now, it seems like, oh my God, what we can't be wrong. Like I literally haven't taken a loss since I started trading yet. Everything has been a profitable trade. But that doesn't mean that it'll always be that way. And that doesn't mean that I bet the house on one trade. Hell no. It was still stressful. I still had to question whether or not I was right or wrong, like any other trader. It's very reliable. So it gives you an edge, but you still have to trade like a sane person. Don't gamble. If you gamble, you get gambling results, my friends. They want you to think the stock market is gambling. Let's put it this way. If you were going to buy a restaurant, you went in and sat down in the restaurant, sat down at the table with the guy, like, would you not look at all the other components of the restaurant, how it's doing, like, what do the financials look like? Would you just like, oh, let's bet the house on this? No, you wouldn't. And you should think about stocks the same way. You're buying a company or parts of a company, right? It's not gambling unless you treat it that way. Otherwise, it's just business. And they want you to gamble. They want to take your money, guys. Does Walmart... Make sure I don't miss this opportunity here. Does Walmart beat earnings November 16th? What's the earnings result for Walmart November 16th? The full card, interesting. A lot of these Trumps, I don't have anything for the earnings. Much better than expectations. Nice. Much better than expectations. It's the full card for earnings. Do we see 390 SPY in November? That's a no. Oh, sorry, ETH. What was the question? Sorry, Proof. Appreciate you. Is ETH reaching highest high this weekend per monthly while Bitcoin may drop? I'm gonna have to take care of that in a minute here, guys. I gotta take care of my stuff now. I just want to get out real fast. Boom. Nice profit. The 411 put, I'm going to sell against you. Like if they let me, I might not be able to. It's been a while. All right, so that's how I avoided a day trade, because I opened that put today. It wasn't worth it. It was just kind of like, I don't want to miss out on a little bit of gains, but it could turn into a $500 gain if it goes significantly in the opposite direction. It's a credit spread. So I took in the money now, and what I want to do is close the vertical spread for less money than what I took in. And then I'm going to take my last day trade here. We're at what, 410? I want to cost average down. So I want a 414 November 2nd. The computers will see your order and literally raise the price like a few cents. That's why I go above it. Just a few cents. I want to get it done quickly before they fuck with me. Excuse my French, but they will. There's traders in there looking at these trades, and like they'll take it for like a cent because they've got so many contracts, you know. And then I wanted to I'm going to leave these vertical spreads on the 418, 419s because they're so far away from the money. It doesn't they're going to probably expire worthless. Same thing with these 420, 421s. But I want to put on one more at 410, right? Yes, at 410. Right at the money. Do I? Let's do it for the second. Let's do it for the... Do it for the third. Wow, big difference in price there. I'm going to put on one just out of the money here. Boom. That's space for the year, guys. Bad call. That's what I did in the last week and a half with $600. That's wrong. That's not correct. I don't know why it says that. It's a lot more. And my risk slide now is like pretty much all to the right. All right, so I take a pretty heavy loss here if we go south. But if we go up 1%, it's almost $1,000 right there at 1%. All right, ETH. Guys, remember, follow the rule of karma. It's important, right? This is my parents' money, not my money. Let's remember that. So make sure to follow the rule of karma. ETH. Okay, so what is going on here? Yeah, okay, so 28. I think that, yeah, I think there's probably a highest high there on the 29th. Probably on the 29th. And then BTC was interesting. There's a highest high in there. There's a highest high here on the 27th, 28th, 20, maybe the 27th. 20, like the morning of the 28th, maybe. Um, It's hard to say, but I would probably not be trying to catch any more to the upside because it looks like Bitcoin is going to take a bit of a dive over the next couple of days, at least into the 30th. No barking, Hermes. Is Netflix bullish next week? Guys, just want to be clear. There was somebody that was on our live like all the time asking buy and sell questions. Never once, like for a whole year, never once did they ever follow through on the rule of karma. They've been banned from the website. They've been banned from YouTube. Like they think about it, to find somebody that predicts the stock market to the day and then to like behave that way and lose. I mean, talk about like the opposite of a miracle, a total travesty. Don't do that to yourself, people. Make sure to follow through. The universe will cut you off, even if I don't. All right, so Netflix. want to put this one with it. There's a higher price level in November for Netflix. Just to be clear, guys, that's what this is about here. This is telling me there's a higher price level in Netflix. There was a trade opportunity on the 18th, right? That was the low. Nailed that, and there was a higher price level. So even higher than where we are now. There's a higher price level in November. We had the completion of a rally here on the 12th, 13th. 9th, 10th, so we were off a couple days there. And then on the 2nd, 3rd, we had a highest high, and you can see that was the highest high up until the very end, where we'll see an even higher one coming up in November. The end of the week, it's kind of tricky on the 30th. I don't know what I would. It's going to be very tricky. I'd be cautious on the 30th. Important. It'll be kind of flat on the 31st, flat on the 1st. It's probably the same resistance that we'll be dealing with on the 31st and the 1st, and maybe even on the 2nd. But we should decline on the 2nd, especially towards the end of the day. Probably a gap up or a move higher early in the day on the 30th, and then a notable decline to a trough at the end of the 3rd. Probably a gap up on the 3rd. Or a big move higher early in the day, and then a notable decline towards the end of the day on the 3rd into a trough. And this is most likely where we see the first highest high for Netflix in November. There's a little bit of a dip here, and then we go higher into looks like later on into the month. Yeah, you got it, AV. Appreciate you. All right, my friends, that's it. So had a really killer day. I mean, oh, it shows $600 gain because that's what I did. I get it now. Okay, so this is $600 gain after getting back all of the loss of SPC. I made $600 over the last week, but I basically came back to even and some in the last week and a half. Starting with $600 cash, I still have 400. So I liquidated half of my position. Maybe it was less than. No, it was less than $600. I started with. I sold 400 shares. Right, I had 800 total. I sold 400 and utilized that cash to create this whole nonsense here and pretty much soup that up. Right, this was like over $1,000 loss before I started trading last week. Now we're there at 3608, from 1300 to 3608 in a week and a half, my friends. From 1300 to 3606 in a week and a half, using half of the account's value to start. That's SO Meta Analysis, my friends. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you Monday morning. Blessings.